Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Gen V Season 1. So, this is the second Boys spinoff. They have an animated series that I've never watched, but I'm kind of curious. I never watched it because I just didn't feel like watching animation. I prefer live action. But yeah, when I saw the trailer for this, like when it debuted and stuff, I thought this looks so corny. It reminds me something of the CW, but with the budget of like Amazon Prime. And so I was not looking forward at all to watching this when I saw the trailer. However, you should not judge a movie or TV show by the trailer. This show is freaking awesome. It is really cool. Is it as amazing as The Boys? No, it's like a watered down version of it, but there's so much intrigue that it keeps your attention. There are some really like emotional characters in this show that keep you invested. Every episode, even the finale, ends on a cliffhanger that makes you want to come back for more. And there's a huge mystery going on with so many twists and turns that it's just like, man, this is awesome. And I'm so glad I watched this show, boy, let me tell you. So, of course, the people who created, The Boys also created this. This show is technically based off The Boys comic. I think it's the fourth issue, We Gotta Go Now, but it's loosely based off of that. Basically, there's a billionaire by the name of John Gooddelkin, which is also named after the school, in this show. And he has some people called the G-Men or something like that. And he takes his own life or something like that, publicly and stuff. And so it's basically similar to what happened in this show. Now, instead of John, it's Thomas who founds the school. And so basically, this is a university where they train young soups, but the twist is they're not there to train to technically really be the new age of heroes. Because of course, hero soups in this universe are scammers and everything. They're frauds. Basically, the school is there to study them because Vault has a hidden agenda. And it's that mystery that keeps you so intrigued that you can't believe the twist on the twist on the twist. And so, the stars in this show are pretty cool. There are two I recognize that are brand new to the show. Also, there are tons of cameos from The Boys. Tons of the seven actors and actresses, they appear in this show. Soldier Boy appears in this show, and Butch appears in the very end of the last episode. And this ties into the fourth season of The Boys. And yes, it has been renewed for a second season. So, if this has been renewed for a second season, it makes me wonder how much of these characters are gonna trickle over to that of The Boys season 4. Most likely, not that many. Most likely, it's just gonna revolve around the thing that this whole season is built around, because now the seven and Butch and all them gotta deal with it. And I am still just so shocked and amazed I like this show. Because the trailer sucked. But man, this is really good. And yes, it's gross and sexually gross, just like The Boys. There's tons of blood and gore. And yes, sadly, just like with The Boys, all the men are treated like predatory monsters and stuff. Not every guy, but pretty much. Guest appearance, characters, stuff like that. Side characters, just like with The Boys. But the thing about The Boys is that they have equal kind of footing Because it's like, you got two that are sexual predators on the boys, but you also have some females that are terrible people. But here is just like, even though there are some females that are terrible on this show, yes, just about every man in here is sick and deprived in their sexual nature. You have Translucent Sun, who pretty much bangs a goat. And then you have this one dude who's like a PI, and he likes to stick his shillelagh in anything that has a hole in it. It don't matter if it's a tree, it don't matter if it's a skull, he just sees a hole and he just wants to shove it. And then you have the boy who is able to read minds, who will make a person blank out and then he will sexually assault them and everything. And it's just like, why is it one guy after another? And and that's just modern television emulating real life, but it's always doing it with the men. And it never wants to do it with like the women and stuff. And yes, there is nudity, and oh my god, I still can't believe that one scene. The giant prosthetic statue they built of that. I can't believe it. But all the nudity is once again all men. So you see shillelaghs, you see man booty and everything, and never the women. Even though there is a scene where there is a woman naked, but they cover up her stuff. And I'm just like, I get it. Like, that's what they used to do back in the 80s and the 90s and a little bit of the 2000s. But you know what? You gotta have a balance, man. You gotta be equal. I've always said this before. If you're gonna show one person nude of one gender, you gotta show the other, not just one. And this whole revenge they're doing out of like modern day television, it's getting so old. It is getting so old and stuff. And so when it comes to the cast is pretty good. The acting is so-so. I like the female acting a whole lot more than the males. Yeah. Like it's just how it is. And even some people online kind of agree. Like, they say the breakout stars are mostly just like the females because their acting is like better and stuff. I'm really disappointed in some people's acting. One, I expect it to be kind of bad. Another one, I'm like, okay, yeah, that person started off as singing, so I don't expect that person to be like great. But this one person, man, I was like Chance. I'm surprised because in Sabrina, his acting was so good in Sabrina. But then he got to use his actual accent. It's weird when some people that have accents try to change their voice to American. Sometimes their acting is off. Sometimes, and but like I think one time somebody said the same thing happened to Rebel Wilson when she had her ABC show. She wasn't as funny as she is with her natural sounding voice, but yeah, there is a difference, and there was a difference with his acting. It just, I don't know. It maybe because he had to change his voice to like American, or maybe because he's going through some crap right now that got him in trouble. I will get into later because, whoa. But like, yeah, the stars of this show is Jazz Sinclair, who plays Maria, and she's from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And I've always liked her acting. I never particularly liked the character that she played on there, Ross, because they could never figure out what to do with her. So they kept changing up her character as the show progressed, and it just became so confusing. And so, like, you have Lizzie Broadway as Emma, who is my favorite character. Okay, first let me get into Marie. Marie, who technically is the main star of the show, and you start to feel sympathy for her. But then soon as, like, Emma shows up, you can't help but to love Emma. Now, Maria is a hemokinetic. Basically, she can control blood. And so Emma can shrink and grow. Then you have London Thor. And yes, that's the name Thor. That's so cool. Just like the Broadway girl. That's her real last name. And London Thor. And what is his name? His name, is it Derek Liu? Lau? Where is it? Yeah, Derek La or something like that. They play Jordan. Basically, Jordan has like multiple powers. Strong can shoot out like bursts of energy in kind of like a shield type form, and they can change genders. Jordan was born male, but their gender swaps and everything. Then you have Patrick Schwarzenegger, who of course is related to Arnold, that's his son, and he plays Luke, aka Golden Boy, and he basically set his body on fire. And let's see who else. You have Maddie Phillips, and she has the ability to control people through touch in her hands, and she is also has some telepathy and stuff like that. And then you have Chance Pardomo, and he's basically can control metal. Yeah. And he plays that of Jordan. And then you have Sam, and Sam is basically Luke's brother. And all the way, Maddie also plays Kate. And so like, no, not Jordan. Who does? Oh, Andre. That's who Chance plays. Chance plays Andre. And so, like, you have Sam in this show, and I forget who the actor plays him. But basically, he's Luke's brother, and he's extremely strong, and he has some psychotic problems. And then you have Miss Shetty, who basically runs the school. And then you have Dr. Cardoza, who is the head scientist there. You have Clancy Brown, who plays Mr. Brink. And then you have Sean Thomas something, I forget his name, the dude from Save the Last Dance, playing Andre's father. He's a soup who's a former hero who's retired now. And I was very surprised that his character is like, a former hero and why he had to be retired, but it's because he's ill. And so when it comes to the cast of our main characters, one complaint is that they don't have no chemistry with each other. That's both true and not. See, they're not really supposed to have chemistry with each other because they're not friends. They're just a group of kids that kind of got lumped together. Some of them were friends in the past. The ones that are more like a pairing, those are the ones that have chemistry with each other, like Emma and Maria, Kate and Andre, and then Jordan pretty much has chemistry with like anybody she's with for the most part, mostly that Maria. And so also Sam and that of Emma. And so they do have chemistry. It's just when they're in pairs. But when they're all as a group, they're just dysfunctional because they just can't get along with each other. And so one interesting thing about this show is that, in the boys universe, we know that superheroes are fake. They're frauds. They stage all their stuff and they're there for the publicity. So you have the boys, the humans, who want to take out the superheroes, and the humans end up being the real heroes of the series. Here is the opposite. Here it is the human people that are the evil people, and it is the supes that are actually pretty good and want to do the right thing. And it's a group of the supes that have to become real heroes in a sense, but they have to fight not only the humans, but they gotta fight the other supes as well. An interesting twist on something that is the complete opposite of what we know. Also, what's really interesting is the character development of some of these characters and, like, the things that they truly represent. All of these characters, when it comes to their powers, they represent something that happens in, like, our everyday life. Like Maria, she's able to control blood, like out of her own body and everybody else's body. But to use her powers, she has to cut herself. She just cuts the palm of her hand and she makes blood come out like a whip. And so that's like something for like self-harm. And it's weird that she is the representation of that. And so are like others and stuff. Like Jordan is a representation of gender identity and stuff, like more like transgender gender identity, because they can like body swap from male to female. And then you have Kate, who kind of think, actually I'll get into her a little bit later. She's a little bit more confusing. Then you have Emma, who in order to shrink, she has to throw up. Then in order to get big again, she has to eat a lot of food. So she has like a eating disorder and stuff. You have Sam, who is really, really strong and but also have bursts of violence and stuff like that. And every time he gets like, pissed off or whatever, he just wants to kill people. And he's basically a psycho killer and everything. But he also suffers from mental illness. Trying to think of somebody else. I don't know. I don't think Andre has anything he represents. I don't think he just seems pretty like ordinary. And I think Kate. The only thing about her is like not being able to touch people without harming them, and she has like a brain aneurysm and she uses her power too much. So basically, I don't think she represents anything. I don't think that I can think of. No. And just like with the boys, you have the female lady who is like the head of the organization, and they have some shadiness to them, and it's her shadiness that goes all the way back to the boys season 1 that like I never saw coming and stuff. So basically, what this show is about is like it starts off with that Maria, and she ends up having her period and killing her parents because she can control blood. She basically just blew them up. And so because of that, she's taken from her sister. Her sister hates her. She's put in some kind of like orphanage type school. And she desires to join like, the Seven. So basically she's taken to God U. And there, she meets a bunch of people. Some shenanigans happen, and then there's a conspiracy that's like afoot. When she stumbles across something by mistake. And so like when she stumbles upon a murder, she basically, tries to hightail it. But then because, Golden Boy, he killed Brink. And so basically Brink and all the other human people there, they are up to something that's known as the Woods. And the Woods is like this hidden laboratory underneath the campus. And Vought is the one that set it up. Basically, Vought wants to be able to control Supes. They're fearful of Supes. They know that Supes can revolt anytime they want. So they want to be able to control their minds and make them do whatever they want, especially Homelander. And so it's the job of the Woods to experiment on Supes and figure out what makes them tick. Golden Boy figures this out and kills like, the head dean. And so Maria stumbles upon that and he tries to kill her. After he's calmed down by Andre and Kate, he takes his own life. And that's what starts the mystery, because he whispers something in Andre's ear. After some investigation here and there, like, it leads them to one thing after another. And so because of that, Marie is getting all the praise because, they thought she stopped Golden Boy. And you know how the Supes are, they love being high ranking and stuff. So after some investigating here and there, Andre sends in Emma to try to like free that of Sam, who is Luke's brother, who people thought was dead, but really isn't. And so like after he is free, it alerts that of the faculty staff of God U. So they start hunting down these groups of like heroes that they feel are now rogue. And so like it turns out that the hidden thing that the shadiness that Shetty is doing is that she hates Supes, all of them, especially Homelander, because of the plane incident that happened in season 1 of The Boys. Her son and her husband was on there. And what's crazy is that when you rewatch that scene, there is like, an Indian man and boy who are in the window as Homeland is about to like, total it and everything. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, that was like so foreshadowing. Not only that was foreshadowing, but Marie, she was foreshadowed, I believe, in season 3 of The Boys when they was looking up like, names of young Supes. And there is Jazz picture and stuff. I completely forgot that. And it's just crazy how they foreshadow all this stuff because they knew they wanted to do a spinoff at some point. But who knew they was thinking that far in advance? You know what I'm saying? So Shetty wants to create a virus that can kill Supes. And so she has Dr. Cardoza create that. But he wants to rat her out to Vought because he's scared. But she wants the virus to be airborne. So there's a traitor among them and everything. And I kind of figured it would be, but I kind of like, who would it be? Jordan wants to be the top number 1, so maybe it could have been her. But then that's like, the likely suspect, so maybe not. Then I'm all like, Kate looks like Emma Frost, so maybe it's her. But I'm like, nah, it can't be that obvious. Well, it was that obvious. Kate has known about this since the beginning. And she's been working with Shetty because that's kind of like her mother figure. And so she's been wiping so many people's minds so that they will forget. She erased that Luke's Golden Boy's mind because like, she wanted him to pretend like his brother was dead. And so he'll stop looking for him and stuff. But then once he found out about the woods because his memory resurfaced, that's when he killed Brink. Then when the group of like Supes that she's hanging with starts to figure things out, she wipes their mind in a very intriguing episode. Basically, when Sam gets freed, he goes berserk and they have to try to fight and calm him down. Then it fades to black and everybody woke up days later, dazed and confused, not knowing what the heck has gone on. Some of them were banging each other, not realizing what's going on and all kind of crap. And, it made for a really interesting episode because it just literally faded to black at the moment of the battle. And you don't know what's going on. And you assume that the one psychic dude who like assaults people is the one who did it because, they saw like a video of him at a party, but it wasn't him. Then after talking to Sam, Emma realizes, oh crap, it was Kate who did that. And so like, she has to restore everybody's memories. Then it causes like a feedback loop in her head to where it kind of fizzles her out because she's having an aneurysm. And then they get trapped inside her mind. And then when they're trapped inside her mind, we get to see all their memories and all the shady stuff they've been up to. So these group of Supes that we've been like hanging with for the show, each has like a shady thing. Jordan knew all along that like, Golden Boy and Brink had it out and she could have stopped it right then and there, but never did. You have Andre who's been sleeping with Kate, like, the entire time she was dating Golden Boy. And of course, like, Maria, she basically covered up like the fact that, what really happened between Brink and Golden Boy, because she just wanted to stay in the school because she was about to be like expelled. And with Brink dead, like she gets to stay there. Plus, there's the thing of her killing her parents, which they knew, they just didn't know to like the extreme. And so like it's like, okay, Kate turned on, like, Shetty told the truth and everything. And so it takes a while for them to regain her trust, or for her to regain their trust. And so then the craziest thing happens in like the show. So Dr. Condoza, the other group of kids find out about the virus because plot armor. Basically, it's plot armor. He stumbles into Shetty's office drunk. Jordan and Marie are there, and they overhear him talk about the virus, but they have no idea what it's going to do. Then, when Shetty is confronted by Kate, she makes her tell her the truth. Then Shetty tells the entire group the truth about, like, the plane crash and her vendetta and like all this other crap, right? And the virus. Then Kate makes Shetty kills herself. And Kate has had enough of humans using them and lying to them and all this other crap. So she basically becomes Magneto and wants all the Supes to kill all the humans at the school. And she takes Sam along with her because he's completely like, he hates humans now. So this causes a mess. And it causes the four remaining groups of the Supes to now finally get to be heroes and try to save the day. They have to save the humans from that of their own kind, because literally it's a massacre and everything. And Ashley happens to be there from the boys, and she is terrified because there's no way for her to get out because the plane that was supposed to take them away got taken down. So she contacts Maria, is all like, hey, congrats, like you're gonna be in the 7. But first, you kind of need to kill a couple of your own kind so we can escape and everything. And of course, that's what Maria wants. So she tries to calm like Kate down and everything. But Ashley has like something up her sleeves. Homelander. And so, like, she calls Homelander and he scurries on over because he sees what's going on the news because everybody's videotaping it and putting it live on, like, YouTube and stuff like that. So, Kate takes away Sam's emotions to where he just becomes a killing machine. And as Supes are killing humans left and right, you see the big battle between, like, Jordan and what's her name? Marie trying to take down as many Supes as they can. And so, like, it's even to the point Marie has to, like, kill people because she's learning to control her powers more and more. Because remember the senator lady from The Boys? They have the same exact power. And so, I'm thinking maybe they're related, but no, they're not. And so Homelander comes in, and I knew something bad was going to happen. He had that smirk on his face. Marie is terrified because she knows, because Homelander is considered the greatest hero of all time and the strongest, like Superman. But really, they're not. There are people more powerful than them. But they stand for, the truth, justice, and like the American way type thing that makes them people assume that they're so great. So you can tell that smirk, like she's trying to talk to him with all like, hello, sir, and everything like that. And he just like puts his hand up and he's like, like he's like, don't say nothing. And he has that evil smirk on his face. And he's all like, so you think it's cool to take out your own kind? And he just blasts her in the chest. I'm like, no, dude, he didn't kill her, did he? And then so he's killed his own kind before. So he's just so hypocritical and stuff. But that's who he is. And then the craziest thing happens. She survives. Okay, so it's her, Emma, Jordan and Andre, they're all taken to a laboratory that has no windows and no doors. And Andre tells her, you took that blast in the chest like a champ. I thought maybe she lost her legs or something, but she didn't. How she survived, the heck if I know, because she should have been toast and everything. But now Vault has them. I'm assuming Vault is the one that has them and is going to probably interrogate them or experiment on them or something. But then at the very, very, very end, because see, Shetty was talking to Mallory from the boys, right? And telling them, I got a virus that can kill all the soups, and I know you want that. And Mallory's all like, no, that's genocide and everything. So Shetty leaves, but then Mallory calls somebody and tells somebody to keep an eye on Shetty. That person is Butcher and everything, who walks into the woods because he knows about that now, because of Shetty and Mallory. And he gives his famous line and it ends and it's supposed to trickle over to that of The Boys season 4. And it's like, holy crap, dude. What the heck is gonna happen? Well, we know the virus is, because the senator lady now has the virus. And the senator lady, Homelander is blackmailing her from season 3 of The Boys. So what the heck is gonna happen? I hope this season is gonna be of The Boys is gonna be really good. I particularly didn't like season 3 all that much, but I love season 1 and 2. So let's get into some character profiles and stuff. You have Marie, who's a hemokinetic, who can control blood. If somebody say gets shot, she can put the blood back in that person's body, stop them from dying. She can make blood come out her own body, use them mostly as whips, but she can also use them as a dagger. But she normally uses them as a whip. And so, she can also make people explode like the senator. That's what happened when she had her period as a teenager. She basically blew up her mom. The dad got furious, came at her, and she got scared and blew him up. Because of that, her sister saw it, and her sister hates Maria because of that. And so they get separated and she gets taken to that orphanage school where she's basically, wanting so badly to be in the 7. She wants to be the first black female in the 7 because she looks up to the A-Train because he was the first black person in the 7. But was he really? Because we know Black Noir is also a black man, and I forget who came first. And so I think Black Noir was. So technically, what's his name would have been the second black dude. But nobody knew what, the ethnicity of Black Noir was until, we found out in season 3. And so when she gets accepted to go to God U and everything, she's ecstatic. And Emma is her roommate, and they pretty much bond. And so she's been invited to hang out with the cool kids who are high ranking at God U. They get a little high and everything, and Andre screws up by trying to impress a girl with his powers. He cuts her throat, blood going everywhere, and then Maria is shown on video saving that girl. Because of that, you think she would be praised for saving that person's life, and Brink does praise her. But then he's all like, we're gonna have to expel you. We can't expel the higher ranking people because they're higher ranking and you're just a nobody. And so that makes her pretty pissed off, Basically, it's representing how black people get blamed for stuff just to save white people and stuff. And that's basically what happened because even though Andre, he looks mixed, I'm pretty sure he's mixed, but the other two are white, and then you have Jordan, who's Asian. But anyway, it's basically black people getting the shaft for somebody else. And so that pisses her off. So when she goes back to his office and everything, there's when she sees Golden Boy murdering Brink. And Golden Boy's all like, dude, I wish you wasn't here to see that. So he chases her, and it's Jordan who saves her. After, like I said, he blows himself up. she is praised because people assume she's the one who stopped Golden Boy, but it was really Jordan. So because of that, her and Jordan have been frenemies since the beginning because Jordan is just like really rude to her and stuff. And so, like, all this praise, it's the typical soup thing. It's clouding her judgment because she's all like, ooh, I'm famous now. You know what I'm saying? And so, because of that, she quickly stops being like my favorite, and Emma starts being my favorite. But she later confesses and stuff like that, being manipulated by Shetty and all this other crap. So when she starts to find out about like the woods and all this other stuff, because she stopped Sam from escaping her and Andre. Then when when Sam is rescued and tries to go berserk, she gets mind wiped. But before she gets mind wiped by Kate, when she was trying to find Emma, because Emma was missing, because she went with Sam, she goes to this one dude who's psychic. And so he has to have close contact with people. But he's a sexual assaulter. And he tries to sexually assault her. And Jordan comes in to save her because she sees those two talking. And so when she gets really scared of a shillelagh in her face, she blows it up because she can't quite control her powers. So now this dude ain't got no, you know what. And so, like, because of that, her and Jordan are frenemies throughout the entire time until Kate makes them black out for like over a week. And when they wake up, they're naked in bed and she's with Jordan. And it's just like, wait, what? Because nobody knew the sexuality of Maria. Now, when it comes to Jordan, they just do whatever, because they can go both ways. And it's weird that these two was hooking up because they don't like each other at all. And so now because of this, they now try to figure out what's going on between them. They kiss, they make out, mostly as the male version of Jordan. And it's just a weird relationship. There are too many relationships in this show. There are like three in there, or technically four, because two are messing around. But it's just, I don't like when shows constantly make their leads do each other, you know what I'm saying? And date. It gets on my nerves. And these two just have a weird chemistry between each other because they don't like each other. But now, because they slept with each other and don't remember it, now they're acting like they like each other a lot. And so, but that quickly goes away and everything once we get towards like, the middle and the end. And so basically, when it comes to the big, like, fight at the end, Maria fulfills her goal that she had in the beginning of this. She wanted to be in the seven. She's close to being it, and she also wants to be a hero. She idolizes heroes. She doesn't know that they're scammers and everything yet. And so she takes it upon herself, to protect the humans and from like, the soups and everything. And of course, that's when Highlander comes in and fries her behind. And it's like, you really feel for her character in the beginning because she blew up her parents. And because of that, her sister hates her to death. And she wants, see, the reason why she wants to be a hero is because she wants her sister to forgive her. And if she can show her sister, look, I'm doing great things, then maybe you will forgive me. Now, we have not seen her sister in adult teen form yet. So maybe she'll show up in season 2 because technically she should, Emma, also known as Little Cricket. She has the eating disorder because she shrinks. She's a little bit way too kinky at times. Like she's extremely sex positive. Her goal is to have a threesome. She has tons of sex toys and everything like that. And she just like, randomly bangs guys who's willing to do her. She wants acceptance. She does not like her power at all because in order for her to shrink, she has to throw up. And in order to get big, she has to eat. And she hates that. And mostly people kind of mock her a little bit because of her powers and everything, because of the whole shrinking thing. Like when she hooks up with this one dude, he just basically wants her to shrink and ride him and everything. I still cannot believe what I saw. And yeah, it's a giant statue prosthetic. Basically, when they made it, they didn't paint it yet. And when Lizzie saw it, they said she basically just ran up to it and hopped on it. Which is so like her character. Oh boy. I hope they let her keep that thing. I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's weird because she's riding it up and down. She's punching, like, the ball area and stuff. It's a weird scene, man. But anyway, she's best friends with that of her roommate, Maria. But, at one point, she gets exposed for the whole throwing up thing when one girl decides to expose her so she can get high ranking points. Everybody starts making fun of her because of that, and she feels really crappy. But her and Maria have a falling out because Maria blamed her for going out that night, hanging out with the cool kids, because that's what got her in all this mess. But they later forgive each other and stuff. And it's a really awkward scene because, Maria has to pee in that dress and Emma's holding her legs up and the dress up, and it's a funny scene, and she's just hugging her because they really care about each other and stuff. And I like these two as friends and stuff. And so, like, basically, Andre recruits Emma to like go into like the woods and find Sam. Sam doesn't believe she's real because he's a little psychotic in the head. But then she ends up killing a guard by going in one side of his ear, penetrating his brain, and coming out the other. Whoa. And so she hightails it with Sam. Because of this, they bond because they're both kind of like freaks of nature. They see each other as he's mentally disturbed, and she has that eating disorder, which her mom makes completely worse because her mom literally counts her calorie intake and stuff. And so you can't help but to feel sorry for this character because she has a cool power, but it comes with a cost of using it. And so her and Sam bond so much that she literally takes care of him, but she also bangs him in a very graphic, like, sex scene and stuff. But then when he turns evil and everything and wants to start killing people, she doesn't want no part of that. And then something happens with her power that is completely, I was surprised to see, because you feel bad for her how to use her powers, so you don't want her using her powers. So it's like, come on, y'all, can't y'all find another way for her to use her powers? And the writers did. When Sam starts to berate her and hurt her feelings, it makes her feel small, and she ends up getting small. This surprises the crap out of her because she didn't know she could get small by having her feelings hurt. But then we don't see her for the rest of the battle because she's just with Sam. And so after that, we see her later at that facility, in the confinement space with all the rest of them because somebody captured them and stuff. Jordan is my next favorite, like, character. 'Cause my favorite three are like Marie, Emma, and, Jordan. But Jordan is very complicated. She would do whatever it takes to get high ranking, even if it means like, stabbing somebody in the back. Her and Brink are really cool, and she takes his death really hard. She knew about him and Golden Boy having problems, and she kept that to herself, or their self, I should say. So when I think of Jordan, I mostly think of the female version because she's mostly female. But Jordan was born male, and the parents or the dad likes him male more. But Jordan, feels more comfortable being female, which really upsets the father. And the father's all like, you just do this to smite me and everything. And so, like, Jordan prefers to be more female, but there's that male half of them. The mom seems to be just neutral on everything and doesn't like it when the husband gets upset. And so this is something they have to deal with because she would prefer, or they would prefer, to be like female. And when it comes, and they'll date anybody, they'll date male, female, doesn't matter. But when they do like other people, they want them to pretty much just stay one gender and stuff. And so, like, when we see her banging people, it's mostly that of a female. But when she bangs Maria, it's first as a male, but then they kiss as like female. And it has to be really hard to go through something like that, being born one way, but wanting to be like the other thing, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, she's pretty powerful, but it's kind of hard to figure out what her powers are because you don't really know. Like, the gender swap thing, but that's really about it. But then the other two powers just happen to show up very briefly in the show. And that whole energy burst thing, still not sure what exactly it does. It just appears to be like a shield, like a concuss burst, like you just like shoot the burst out and it kind of like stops a person. She doesn't like Maria for the most part because Maria is very high ranking after just getting there and she's been there for a while. And them soups are all about the ranking and stuff. And so it causes them to be frenemies, but she does end up saying Maria twice or maybe three times and stuff. But then it secretly turns out that they like each other. I guess all that like tension was sexual tension or something like that. But it does make for a weird pairing because technically they don't like each other. And then all of a sudden, after blanking out and then sleeping with each other and don't remember doing that, it's like, now all of a sudden they're starting to like each other and stuff. And I do like London's acting a whole lot more than Derek, only because London is the actual like actress and stuff. Derek started off as rap and music, so of course, when people do from music to acting, their acting isn't always that great, but he could get there. Golden Boy is played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. And for the most part, I'm not feeling his acting whatsoever. Nepo babies, you know what I'm saying? That nepotism. And so, like, his acting's okay. It's just not great. First time I saw him act was Scream Queens, and, like, he didn't have that much to do or say because he was still new at acting and stuff. But basically, he is the brother of Sam. He's very powerful and he's high ranking number one. He is literally so much praised like Homelander and stuff. And he's going on to be in the seven until he finds out that he's been experimented on, just like his brother Sam. Only problem is he's dating Kate and Kate's good with Shetty, so they keep wiping his memory, but they keep resurfacing. He thinks his brother is dead, but then it's like he starts to figure out like the truth. And this is when basically he goes to kill Brink. And so then he takes his own life and stuff. And for the most part, he is really the only good person there because he was trying to stop all this bad stuff from happening. But then he ended up taking his own life. And it's starting to make you wonder now if Kate really implanted in his brain for him to take his own life because she was constantly touching him, making him forget and other kind of crap. Sam is his volatile, goofy headed, like brother. And so Sam is super strong. He's been experimenting on and he's been in the woods. He tried to escape, but then Andre and Marie stopped him, not knowing what the heck was going on. He bonds with that of like Emma and they sleep together. He has the mindset of a child. Like when he looks at people, he sees puppets for some bizarre reason. Mostly because they keep making him watch the equivalent of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in their version, in their universe and stuff. So he constantly sees people as puppets. There's a really interesting, cool scene where he's supposed to kill a bunch of guards. And instead they go to puppet form. And it's really hilarious. But when they see the actual carnage of it in the real life, it is very bloody. And so like he's always having these bursts of like rage, and when he does, he just wants to like harm people. And so like he knows it was Kate that was constantly wiping people's mind and lets Emma know. And so like it's weird. It's like because he has this child mentality, but all this like super strength. And so when Kate takes away his emotions, he's basically just a one man killing machine after that. And even before she took away his emotions, he's easily manipulated. Like he was supposed to stay in Emma's room, but then soon as he heard like a noise outside, a bunch of kids were partying in the hallway. He gets manipulated by the psychic dude, and then after one like instance of him seeing like Soups get pissed at like the senator lady because they don't know she's a Soup, he turns on humans after that. And that will cause him to side with Kate. Kate reminds me so much of Rogue and Jean Grey. Basically, she's a telekinetic and she can manipulate your mind by touching you with her hands, which causes her to have to wear gloves. When she was a little kid, she grabbed her brother and said, "I wish you would just go away and never come back." And that's what happened. Because of that, her mom blamed her and they can't find her brother. They don't know where he is. Now remember, Soups aren't born this way. They're injected as babies. So the parents, wanted her to be this way. And so because of that, Shetty kind of became her new mother figure. Her and Shetty has been working behind the scenes to, experiment on like, people and stuff like that. And so, or the Soups, I should say. And it turns out while she's dating Golden Boy, she was sleeping with Andre the entire time. And so basically, it's kind of hard. Like there are times you want to feel bad for her, but then you don't because of how shady she is and stuff. And so basically, after being manipulated by Shetty, she just realized, you know what, screw the humans and stuff like that. And then she just wants to murder every human in the school and in the world. And she causes all the Soups to she don't even have to touch them. It's just basically her words were enough to cause them to join her. Now, in one episode, when she tries to give everybody back the memories, they're all holding hands at one point and they get trapped inside her mind. And there we learn and you start to feel bad about what happened to the whole brother thing. But then something crazy happens. Soldier Boy shows up. Basically, he's her bang buddy in her brain. She idolizes him. Jason Ackles, man, says one of the most craziest improv lines ever. The actor who plays Chance could not keep a straight face on this show and revealed that, the stuff he said was too hilarious. You even see him breaking character, giggling a little bit at the stuff he says. So yes, all that Soldier Boy stuff was improv and stuff. Now, Kate ends up having her hand blown off by that of Maria because, she tried to grab Maria and stop her. And it was a very gory scene. Shetty is the one who is the new dean at God U. And, basically her and Brink are basically just trying to murder that. Well, Brink is trying to mind control the Soups. She wants to murder them and everything. And it's all because of season 1 on that plane crash where Homelander and Maeve let those people die. And her family was there. But basically, she gets taken out by Kate after, she has to reveal, the truth to everybody and stuff like that. And, when it comes to her wanting to kill the Soups, because she wants the virus to be airborne and contagious. Because when it comes to Homelander, one of the reasons why Marie just couldn't blow him up is because his skin is so tough and everything. It's basically like Superman. So the only thing that could kill Homelander is basically a nuke. But with this virus now, because even other Soups, if they pound on him hard enough, they could pretty much do some damage, but they can't necessarily kill him and stuff. Which is why they wanted Soldier Boy to go all nuclear and blow Homelander up. But then it turned out, Soldier Boy is his dad. Andre can control metal, just like his father. His father is a former hero and is now retired. It's never explained why he was retired until like the last episode when you kind of assume. Basically, if you use your power, or if they use their power too much, it will cause like something to happen in their brain, causing like seizures, basically like a form of cancer and stuff. So eventually they will die if they keep using their power. which really sucks for like Andre and stuff. His dad knew all about like the woods and all this other crap, but kept his mouth shut because he lives his life through Andre. Because he can't be a superhero no more, he wants his son to be the best of the best and to be in the seven. And it causes problems between him and his son. And so, like, you know, other than like him sleeping with Kate and everything, because when Golden Boy died, those two just hooked up automatically. So you knew something was going on. And it turned out they was having an affair. And so he has to grapple with, does he still hate Kate? Does he like Kate? Because, you know, of her betrayal and stuff like that. Now, as for the actor Chance, this is what blew so many people away last month. He is in some kind of controversy. What is it exactly? Well, somebody went through his Instagram and saw that he follows lots of toxic groups. Very, very, very disgusting groups. Groups from like toxic people who are racist, people who are homophobic, transphobic, people who are incel and everything. Those are men who basically blame women for like everything, for their shortcomings and stuff like that. And a lot of like toxic men in the media right now. This threw a lot of people by surprise, especially him joining like homophobic and transphobic like groups and stuff, because he played a pansexual character in Sabrina, where he had to kiss on a guy and all this other stuff. And a lot of people just kind of like very shocked and confused because, see, he played the character of Ambrose so well on Sabrina, so likable and so charming that people thought he was like that in real life. But it turns out he has some shadiness in him and everything. So, and it's kind of weird that he would join like all these weird kind of groups and stuff, right? Now, he hasn't said anything or done anything. He's just joined these groups and followed certain disgusting people that's outraged folks and stuff. Also, he's followed people who are women abusers and stuff. So, yeah, let's just say he's in a little bit of hot water and everything right now. And, you know, when it comes to that role in Sabrina, this is what's so weird. See, he always auditions for things, but doesn't get them. He auditioned for Jughead in Riverdale, did not get it. And the creator of the show liked him so much that he created the character of Ambrose specifically for him. So, but that character is pansexual. So that made people wonder, is he really pansexual? Nobody knows his sexuality. So why would he join these homophobic groups and everything, these anti-LGBT groups? And so, like, he also auditioned for something else. I think he auditioned for Golden Boy, but did not get it. And, you know, they gave him the character of Andre. So, how did the show respond? Well, I'm assuming he's in trouble because he's now deleting a lot of these groups that he follows, but not necessarily the people. And when it comes to Gen V's social media account, there's a video promo of all the young stars on there, right? Talking about their characters, this and that. But there's somebody missing. Chance. Chance is missing from the promo video. Him talking about his characters been completely deleted. Then when it's like a group shot, it looks oddly cropped. Like he's been cropped out and everything. I believe the reason why he's deleting all these groups is one or two things. Either because he doesn't want to lose his fandom, or because the show made him. And this was like, and they all like, look, dude, delete these groups and you get to stay on the show. And so, yeah, do I think he will be fired or recast? No. Because he hasn't technically, well, one, he hasn't said or done anything. He's just following people. And two, Anthony Starr, I believe that's his name, the guy who plays Homelander. The actor who plays Homelander got in some trouble when he went to a restaurant, and I believe he physically assaulted the chef. So he beat somebody up and he has not been fired and he won't be fired because he is Homelander. People love that character. People love him in that role. And so if he's not going to get fired or recast because of physically assaulting anybody, I doubt what's his name going to be fired for following people. But, the Homelander character is a lot bigger of a character and star than that of Andre. So there's really no telling. Won't find out until season 2. Or maybe season 4 of like The Boys. If the Gen V cast is going to show up in that show. But who knows. But it's already been filmed. So yeah, that is the controversy. It's funny, like both shows have controversy characters and their actors and stuff. And so like yeah, it is very disappointing that that one actor dude follows all those nasty people in groups because he seems like such a cool person. And in the Sabrina, he's a really good actor. And Gen V, not so much. But then again, there's also a female celebrity from the 90s that everybody loves. She does something similar. She follows a lot of nasty, disgusting people. People who are racist, homophobic, lies about politics, lies about this country. And nobody's gotten on to her about that. And I remember one time, like I follow her on social media, and I'm just like, why are all these weird people being recommended for like, my accounts and stuff? And it's because she's the only person who follows those people. And yeah, it's just social media, man. And some people, like, I don't understand some folks, I don't understand some people. Like, how can you follow such disgusting, nasty people, but then claim to be such a good, wholesome person? Like, I don't get that. Anyways, Gen V is a very good show. Not as great as The Boys, but man, it's up there and stuff like that. And you will have a blast watching this show. Like, it's the mystery and the twist upon the twist upon the twist and the characters that really get you hooked. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.